Hello, my friends. My name is Ed DeCosta of eddecosta.com. I am an executive coach, and you have reached my weekly coaching video. This week, the subject is, what's the problem? Well, as you've heard me say before, success leaves clues. Well, so does failure. And one of the biggest problems that people have in solving problems is right at the beginning. They don't properly define the problem. And you might think to yourself, no way, Ed, that does not happen to me. I understand what the problem is. But so often, people mistake symptoms of the problem for the problem itself, or consequences of the problem for the problem itself. And if you go chasing symptoms or consequences, you won't solve the root problem. Here's a few examples. You're driving along the road, all of a sudden, there's a big hole in the road. There's been a major storm, maybe some rain over the last few days, and all of a sudden, there's a hole in the road. So what's the problem? Some people, most people, when I show an image like that, they'll say, the problem is obvious. There's a hole in the road. I ask more people, I say, well, no, that's not the problem. What's the problem? Some people say, well, you can't get by. I'm not going to be able to get to work on time. I'm going to be late for my appointment. Well, that's not the problem either. With respect to the scenario that I just described, the hole in the road is a symptom of the problem. The fact that you can't get by, the fact that you may be late for your next appointment as a result of the hole in the road, that's a consequence of the problem. What is the problem? The problem is erosion. Water has washed away the foundational elements of the road, and the road has collapsed. So the engineers, the highway department, when they go to solve the problem, they better understand water flow and gravity and how erosion works in order for them to solve the problem. You can't, for example, just fill the hole with dirt and then pave on top of it. Why? Because as soon as it rains again, you're going to have the very same problem. And in business, people make the very same mistakes. They misidentify symptoms or consequences as the problem. Here's a recent example that I've had with a real client. So, what's the problem? Guess what? High employee turnover. High employee turnover is what? That's a problem for business. Why? Because it costs them significant amounts of money in order to rehire, retrain new employees to do the work of disgruntled former employees. And their turnover was significant. And I said, well, what's the real problem? And they would say, well, it's high employee turnover. You know, we lost 12% of our employees last year. Already this year, we've lost 8% of our employees. I said, no, what's the problem? Well, the problem is it costs us a significant amount, and they wanted to tell me about the dollars that they had spent solving the problem. That, of course, was a problem. And again, this is not just a semantic argument. Oh, losing the employees, that is a problem. Yes. And the exorbitant expense of rehiring and retraining, etc., etc. Is that a problem for the business? Yes. But unless you get to the root cause, the underlying cause of the symptoms, in this case, the high employee turnover, and the consequences, the high training and recruitment expense, what was the problem? We ultimately discovered they had way too much management and way too little leadership. What does that mean? That means their senior level people were micromanaging. They were not empowering their employees to do their jobs. Where did they find that out? I didn't tell them that. We did an employee survey. They had done an employee survey. The information was right there. Not just in the exit interviews of the employees that had left, but in the current workforce. They had a growing unease and dissatisfaction of their current employees because they were being managed. And very few people in business want to be managed. They want to be led. And again, it's beyond the scope of this video to do a long discussion of the difference between management and leadership, but suffice it to say, there is a significant difference. And if you're doing more managing than you are leading in your organization, guess what? You've got a problem. So I hope you found this lesson helpful. Again, my name is Ed DeCosta of DeCosta.com and the Ascend 90-Day Transformation Program. And wherever you are, make it a great day.